Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Outliers does not have a particular setting or any major characters. Rather, the book follows a series of case studies and anecdotes that looks at people from various eras to see what really makes them successful, what makes them outliers. The book is divided into two parts. Part 1 is titled Opportunity and Part 2 is titled Legacy. In the first part of his book, he goes over the hidden advantages and extraordinary opportunities that successful people get. For example, he talks about how hockey players have a major advantage if they are born in the beginning months of the year. Gladwell then goes on to explain how prosperous individuals were born at just the right time. For example, in order to be an affluent entrepreneur, one had to be born around the mid-1830s. To become successful in the computer business, the mid-1950s was a perfect moment. This timing was key because it created lucky opportunities for these individuals, allowing them to practice many hours of their craft. For instance, Bill Gates was able to achieve success because his high school had a computer lab, which was very rare back in the day. Then he got many more opportunities after high school. In addition to these lucky breaks, Gladwell asserts how one's upbringing as a child also plays a key role in influencing success. Chris Langan, who has an IQ of 195, didn't achieve his full potential because his parents did not teach him how to take initiative. Part 2 of his book describes how culture and ethnicity can influence a person's success. In one chapter, he affirms how a country's power distance, how much its citizens respect cultural values and authority, is correlated to plane crashes. Airplane crews of countries that have a high power distance, such as those in Asia, are more likely to be involved in a plane crash because the crew mitigate their statements and warnings in order to sound more polite. However, this results in miscommunication. In addition to plane crashes, Gladwell also relates ethnicity to the fact that Asians are naturally better at math, due to their logical number system and the fact that their ancestors have always worked in the arduous rice paddies. Throughout the story, Malcolm Gladwell narrates the story in a didactic and passionate tone. His purpose for writing Outliers is to change the way society looks at successful individuals. He aims to convince people that success is not solely based on individual merit or innate talent. Rather, it is based on hidden opportunities, lucky breaks, childhood upbringing, and cultural legacies. Gladwell hopes that if society is more cognizant of the hidden factors that contribute to one's success, then the world will produce many more prosperous people. Having achieved considerable success himself, Malcolm Gladwell knows better than anyone about the hidden aspects that makes people successful because he is an outlier. He explains how a white plantation owner in Jamaica bought a female slave and made her his concubine. This act saved the slave and the rest of her offspring, Gladwell being one of them. As colored Jamaicans, Gladwell's descendants have benefited for generations from the hierarchy of race. It allowed his mother, Joyce, to pursue opportunities that were not available to other Jamaican slave descendants. Therefore, this series of fortunate events is what allowed Gladwell to become the successful person he is today. A passage from his book is shown above. In this passage, Gladwell heavily utilizes parallel structure to organize his ideas. For example, he writes that no other trees blocked its sunlight, no rabbits chewed through its bark as a sapling, and no lumberjack cut it down before it matured. Through parallel structure, Gladwell is able to clearly articulate to readers the necessary conditions in which the oak tree needs to become the tallest, and he also creates a meaningful rhythm to the description. The next set of parallel structures: do we know enough about the sunlight that warmed them, the soil in which they put down the roots, and the rabbits and lumberjacks they were lucky enough to avoid, is especially effective because Gladwell is able to establish a clear relationship between the tallest oak tree and successful people. He reveals how successful people are given just the right conditions, similar to the oak tree. The above passage also displays figurative language. Gladwell uses a metaphor which is carefully crafted through parallel structure. He relates the tallest oak tree to successful people. Just as how the tallest oak tree grew from the hardiest seed, the most prosperous people were born with innate talent. Most people know that, however, what they do not know is how these individuals were given just the right conditions. The exposure to sunlight and fertile soil, as well as the avoidance of rabbits and lumberjacks, parallels the opportunity and lucky breaks that a successful person receives. Through this metaphor, Gladwell adds flavor to his book by crafting an image in the reader's mind, giving them an idea of what his book will be about. The metaphor, moreover, causes readers to consider how they view success. It gives them something to ponder on and engages them in the story. There is a considerable amount of bias in Outliers. Gladwell draws generalizations from small amounts of data. In addition, all of his anecdotes are carefully picked so that it will confirm his position. Never once in his book does he offer counter-arguments to his claim. For example, in chapter 2 of his book titled The 10,000 Hour Rule, he asserts that a person has to put in at least 10,000 hours before truly becoming successful. To illustrate this point, he provides anecdotes of people and groups such as Bill Joy and the Beatles, who have put in those many amount of hours. However, Gladwell does not look at people who have practiced less and may have achieved the same amount of success. In addition, he also leaves out important details and information when telling his anecdotes, just so that they will fit his claim. For example, he does not mention that the Beatles' performance in Hamburg did not involve a key member, Ringo Starr. When he discusses about plane crashes, he overemphasizes the impact of the pilot crew's ethnicity and understates the effect of their training. For example, the US suffers less accidents because it has a well-established infrastructure of flight schools, which isn't particularly true in other countries.